After Talk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Whatever media is being created as you and I are talking, because I'm sure it's changing as we're doing this interview.
Of course.
The way technology has for forever and a day. The musicians and creative people will figure out a way of using it and getting it out to the people. I have no doubt.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Come journey with us through the rhythm of the music business with your host, Jackie Bertoni.
Welcome to Jackie's Groove. Hey guys, this is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by Intertalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. I got to tell you guys, I'm blown away today because not only have I been a fan of this group since my early days of music, I'm actually going to be talking to the founder today on Jackie's Groove. I've been blessed over the last year and a half to talk to many of the members, including Danny Seraphin, one of the original drummers of the group. And I got to tell you, to interview this gentleman that I have on my show today, the founding member of the rock group with horns, I want everybody to welcome with open arms and open ears a legend, a gentleman I had the pleasure of hanging out 2 weeks ago in San Diego. So with everybody, I want everybody to welcome Mr. Lee Loughnane. Lee, welcome to Jackie's Groove, my brother.
Thank you, Jackie. Let me correct one thing. I am one of the founding members.
Founding members.
Not the founding member.
Well, they'll have to give that $20 back to you that you paid me in San Diego. So,
that's right.
We're gonna make it right.
Me.
You know,
it was me.
Yeah, it's your fault, my brother. You know what? It's the old saying that they say behind every great group is a great manager. That's something that was coined by Mr. Peter Chevarelli, who's been with you guys, and he's been the mainstay of keeping you guys working, going on 50 years, celebrated 50 years in the industry itself. Lee, I want to know, and along with your fans and our fans worldwide, share the secret, man. How have you kept this organization of monkeys together for 50 friggin' years?
We like to play music. I mean, in a nutshell, that covers it. We have the same enjoyment playing music together today on stage or in rehearsal that we did the first day we got together.
You know, I got to tell you, it never gets old.
There's a lot of other things that come in to it along the way, and ups and downs, and crossing this T and dotting that I, and going under this bridge and outside the other one. But basically, That's it. Music, man.
You know, Lee, when you came into this beautiful world in Elmwood Park, Illinois, and when you hooked up with the late great Terry Kath, when you guys had your first rehearsal in Walter's basement, did you know at that time, I know you didn't have a crystal ball in front of you, but did you feel that you guys had, quote unquote, it, and there was going to be longevity in this group?
No, we just liked what we were doing. Like I said, same as we do now. But there is no crystal ball, and we're not supposed to be able to be doing what we're doing. It's just happening, and the reasons that it's happening are really, multifaceted. But I keep going back to it's just the music. We still enjoy doing that. If we didn't, we'd be watching TV at home like everybody else.
I'm fully amazed when I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago that the whole backdrop of those LED screens behind you and how it's synced up with all the great songs, like when Saturday in the Park is played. Just that whole vibe. I don't know if that's Grant Park, but it looks really, really familiar. And that whole situation with Chicago and the players, you and Walter on occasions when he shows up. If not, we're you and Walt. Excuse me, I said Walter. But Jimmy Pankyle, Robert Lamb, Tris Imboden, Walfredo Reyes, Lou Pardini, and Jeff Coffey, who, by the way, is one of my favorite vocalists. No disregard to the other singers, but I really, really enjoy him. So let me ask you this question, my brother, as I'm rambling on here. When you take the stage and when you look down at your set list, albeit strapped to the wedge or the floor or to your mic stand, is there a song that still puts a smile on Lee's face that you cannot wait to get to perform?
No, I just go song by song as we do every night, and if I start thinking about something else, that becomes problematic. I just do what's in front of me. I have a hard enough time doing that.
Hey, Lee, I know you guys right now are currently working on the new album. Is there a drop date on this album? How far along are you on this for your fans?
There really isn't specifically another album going right now. What we are doing is preparing to re-record and film the re-recording of Chicago 2, which has just been released on vinyl by Rhino.
Amazing.
Or should I say re-released. So we're gonna try to recapture it again in a live performance.
I'm sure you'll have no problems doing that. Hey, let me ask you a question, Lee. You being in the industry as long as you've been in, celebrating 50 years, I just kind of want to put a situation with the industry or the music business or the lack thereof in the game today. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the business today? Share with us.
Oh, it's going to keep going. Whatever media is being created as you and I are talking, because I'm sure it's changing as we're doing this interview.
Of course.
The way technology has for forever and a day. The musicians and creative people will figure out a way of using it and getting it out to the people. I have no doubt.
Absolutely. And I like that you use the word technology because
the old school are the people who are having trouble figuring out what's new. That's why the record companies are sort of hanging on by their fingernails on the ceiling like a kitty cat. How do I stay in the business? Exactly.
And it's amazing because you used the word technology a second ago. I love the fact that one of my favorite albums is your current album, which is Now. I just think it's just a consortium of great tunes, very, very contemporary. But the part about the technology is I was blown away to find out that you guys, meaning the horn section, recorded a lot of the horns throughout hotel rooms while you guys were on tour. How was that, doing that versus being in a quote-unquote studio?
We recorded the entire album in hotel rooms, in ballrooms, in wherever we could, but none of it was in the studio. We recorded a couple things on the bus, and then had to edit the oh yeah. Yeah, you can record anywhere now. And since we've recorded that album, we've actually improved on the equipment. So, as things get better, we try to update that too.
It works because Lee, you've been said for the 50 years through Chicago. The only time that you were out, you came down with some health issues, and we won't need to get into that. But one of my very dear friends stepped in your shoes, your huge shoes, and that gentleman's name is Lee Thornburg. I mean, is it a prerequisite to have the name Lee to join trumpet with Chicago?
Yes. No, not exactly. But I hope Lee is doing well. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, man, he's playing his ass off. He's actually with Greg Adams right now. He's playing with a group called East Bay Soul. It's a R&B group that kind of follows the vibe of the Tower of Power thing without the big baritone bass of Doc Kupka. So, and by the way,
I met Greg Adams at Fillmore West just before the group had started. He was telling me in the back room that he had a new group, and it was called Tower of Power. That was in 68.
Yeah, that's when they started. And actually, they're celebrating next year 50 years. So they're riding the shirt tails and the coattails of Chicago. Yep. So it does prove the fact that major groups, real groups that playing real music, obviously they have the mainstay. When you were inducted, when the group was inducted finally into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, we were really, really happy to be part of the bass giveaway. And when you guys took the stage at the Barclay Theater, I got to tell you, man, I got a lump in my throat because it's about time. In fact, I even put it all over social media. I said, Chicago, my dear friend Chicago, and finally inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's 25-6 to about freaking times. I didn't use the word freaking. I used the other word. And the fact is, when you got up there, man, and you took that stage and you showed the old boys out there what it really takes to do it. How did that feel when you guys walked out there? Did you have an aha moment? Did you get a lump in your throat when you got a chance to address your constituents?
I thought I would. I was emotional, but I usually start crying when I get into situations like that. And for some reason, that didn't happen that time. I was just excited to be there, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed every minute of it. But
how did it feel to play with Danny?
The most amazing about it is
Go ahead.
Something that you experience that day, and then the next day we were playing a show with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
So you go right back to work.
And I want to tell everybody, too, out there, if you guys get a chance, I mean, obviously, I love the standalone with Chicago because you get more of the Chicago tunes. But if, and we'll find out from Lee, if Chicago is going to be embarking again on a dual tour with Earth, Wind, and Fire, you guys have to understand something. At the end of the show, when everybody comes through that tunnel, and when everybody on stage, it's got to be a minimal of 20 players plus on stage, and everybody's sharing each other's music. I got to tell you, man, that is absolutely phenomenal. And for those who haven't seen that, I want you to go to chicagotheband.com and stay abreast of what's happening with these guys itself. And Lee, do me a favor, talk to us right now, if you will. What's going on with the band? Are you guys on a little bit of a break? When are you guys taking off on the next leg?
On Thursday.
Where are you heading?
Will be a flight to Vegas. We got a show in Vegas, and then we go to somewhere else after that.
We're in Vegas, Lee. You know where in Vegas?
I have to look up the schedule. I just know I'm going to Las Vegas.
You know, I love this because, you know, when I'm sitting down, I was actually last weekend, I was with Kenny G, an old friend of mine, and we were hanging out. And I said, so where are you heading to, man? He goes, you know what? I have no clue. They just point me in the right direction, and I show up, and I do that. And that's the way it should be. And Lee, I got to ask you a question. We talked about different groups, you know, Chicago, the rock band with horns. Who has been your inspiration through your career or even prior to that? What action to this day? What's in your playlist?
A lot of jazz stuff. Freddie Hubbard, he was a main influence on trumpet. I'll never be the player that he is jazz wise, but I cover my parts pretty well.
Beautifully.
Anyway, I'm more of a section player than a jazz player.
Yeah, but man, when you're out on stage though, Peter, and you are blowing those concerts. The concert F's out there screaming, man. I got to tell you, you have it, man. You don't have a trumpet player's lip. Your lip is stronger now than it's been since you started. I mean, what do you do?
I keep working at it. I practice.
Yeah, I mean, and that's your preparation. I mean, again, too, we're not spring chickens anymore. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, you guys have gone every single frigging year. You haven't been off tour in 50 years. It's because you love playing the music, obviously. Now, let me ask you this question, Lee. When you're on stage, do you prefer in-ear monitors, or you still love the ambient sound of wedges?
We haven't used wedges in 30 years.
Okay, so that answers that question. Now, and when you're in ears, what do you not want to hear in your mix, Lee?
I want to hear the whole band, but at different levels, and
right.
Because we don't have wedges anymore, wedges became really problematic because it wasn't ambient, and the only thing that anybody ever wanted was it to be turned up louder. They wanted themselves louder, so I just stopped using those altogether and put earplugs in my ears until the ear monitors were invented. I stopped listening to the monitors.
And I'm writing this down because there's such a mix on that, too. I also want to say thank you very much for the introduction to your son, and also to a young lady that's going to be coming on Jackie's Groove here soon on a series we have called Emerging Mondays, your beautiful daughter, River. And I'm really looking forward to chopping it up with this girl itself. You did well, my friend. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She's got an amazing voice. And when my audience worldwide hears her voice, I want you to get your overall vibe of exactly who she sounds like, other than River Loughnane. but she's got a really cool vibe. She's got a deeper voice, and we're gonna really spotlight her talent. And it's the least thing we can do is we can pay it back to you, my friend, because the whole thing about this business is paying it forward. And everything that you've done for your fans worldwide, what you've done to fill my life of these amazing songs. In fact, one of the songs I really, really love is a song called Happy Man, a song that you guys don't do a lot here in the U.S., but I remember last year we were hanging out, and you guys were rehearsing that song because it's a big song in Mexico. You guys just got back from Mexico. Is that still a high request song?
Not as much as it was before, because there's another generation since the song came out.
Right.
Maybe 2 generations. But anyway, yes, we did Happy Man, and it went over well. It was fun to do it again.
You know, it's
and, we rehearsed it before the show, went on and played it.
You know, and I love the fact too, when we were together in San Diego, I brought my godson Christopher, and he said, Uncle Jackie, he goes, I'm walking out, and Lee's walking towards you, and I'm seeing the album cover walking towards me. It blew me out of the water, and I do appreciate you signing his album, Lee. And the fact of the matter is that he still hasn't touched his feet haven't touched the ground. I watched him during the show, and when you guys came out and did 25 to 6 to 4 as the encore, I couldn't contain this kid's excitement. It's one of his favorite songs itself. You know, and I want to say a thank you immensely for your humbleness backstage. Now, let me ask you this question, my friend. When you're out on the road, I noticed when you guys are pulling up, or at least on the side of 3rd Street, you guys are traveling with a huge, huge rig and such. But how many tour buses are in your entourage?
4. 2 for the band, 2 for the crew.
Okay, perfect. And you know, and based upon the current release now, I'm going to ask you a naive question, but I just do want an answer because it's unmistakable. We mentioned the group a little while ago, Tower of Power. You can never mistake Tower of Power's horns, Seawind's horn, Muscle Shoals, and definitely Chicago. You know, Chicago's mainstay has always been that sound of trumpets, bone, and a cold saxophone. When you're on stage with, like in this last time, you had Nick Lane, an amazing trombone player, playing with the group itself. Can you hear? Oh, absolutely. Can you hear the difference
Ray's been with us
Nick
for 15 years or more?
Yeah, and I was blown away because Lou told me, Pardini said that Nick has been playing longer over the years than he's been in the band. And you know, it's just amazing. And with that, so how many people go deep? How many trumpet players in the event that you're not on a gig? Who covers you at this point? Because I haven't seen you without the band in the last 4 or 5 years.
There's only 3 trumpet players. I can't think of the original guy. He's now a psychologist in Northern California, or at least he was for a long time.
Wise.
Lee Thornburg and Steve Jankowski from the East Coast.
Man, I got to tell you,
when
you guys
have subbed for me.
You know, and I'm going to tell you, brother, what I love on stage, my favorite song to this day has always been Beginnings. And just towards the end of it, when everybody's is holding me as a percussionist myself, everybody's holding claves and cowbell and so on and so forth. And it's still, after all these years, my friend, it works. Just that angst before you walk on. And before you walk on stage, after doing this for 50 plus years, do you still get those quintessential butterflies in your stomach, that little bit of nerves before you walk out? Is that still happening to you?
I used to think it was nervousness, but that's just performance energy. That's adrenaline building up. And you focus that stuff out to the audience. Or you end up getting nervous if you don't. If it stays inside of you, it's problematic. You know, but if you focus it out to the audience, that's sort of the balance of the show. You focus the energy out toward them, and then they give the energy back to you. And the balancing act goes on for the whole show.
I want to thank you. I want my worldwide fans and your fans want to thank you, Lee, for keeping it all together for all these years. You and your brothers in the band. It never gets old. To this day, when I get the call from Wally or get the call from Trish saying, hey, we're going to be in town. Do you want to come see the show? I said, yeah, what's your next stupid question? Of course we're going to be there. So with that said, guys, I want to say thank you to Mr. Lee Loughnane. Lee, thank you so much, my friend. God bless you. The best of health, my friend. May you have 50 more years on the road producing this amazing music. Please do me a favor. Say hi to the band for me when you get back on there. God bless. Safe travels. And I want everybody right now to say thank you worldwide for Mr. Lee Loughnane, gracing Jackie's Groove. Again, this is Jackie Bertoni, brought to you by Intertalk Radio Network. You're into all things music. Lee's, I finish with all my interviews by saying peace through music. My friend Lee, God bless, man. Godspeed, and thank you very much for all the years of music, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Take it easy. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, Lee. Always, Lee. Thank you, sir. God bless. This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be the music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. Pitbullaudio.com.